Hello friends, welcome back to another session with me. I am Sanyukta Saxena and let us try and explore a little more of the new Tangle Foundabout in this session. Right, so we have already drawn a couple of tiles, about 4 of them, and tried giving new and different looks to the tangle. For example, this is the tile that we drew in the last session, right? So today I'm going to try something again different. Uh, if you just had a look of this tangle, if you arrange these lines in this fashion, it is entirely up to you. After that, what do you insert on those stems, right? So that is one use of the tangle that one side of the tangle that you can explore. For example, I will draw a tile where I try and insert the tangle doodles in this fashion. Yeah, so let's do that today. So what I'm going to do is again draw these stems, right? So I'm drawing it in on one side, and then again first I think we should draw the stems only, right? Otherwise we won't be able to give that overlap kind of a look, right? So first let us draw the stems. So slowly, in the same fashion that I explained in my first session, draw these stems, probably a small one here. And then let's try inserting the tangle doodles, right? So that is how the tangle goes, and then you join it here, right? Now as far as this portion is concerned, you can only draw a part of the fescue. Probably you can draw behind like this and then get it down, right? Now I will first go draw this second stem, again the tangle doodles, then bring this down here, join it here. Again I'll have to draw behind, so probably a little visible here. Again bring this down, join it here. Again probably a little visible here. So I'm drawing in that fashion, yeah, trying to. So again, if this one you want to complete, little will be visible here. I bring it down like this. Again the fescue, probably little visible here. Again bring it down like this. Again continuing in the same fashion, overlapping, taking one stem at a time. Again this one, so there is no space here, probably a small one you can draw here like this. Again little bit of the fescue stems visible, so I'm reducing the size also. Again little bit visible here. Here I don't think it will be visible, right? So it's a matter of drawing behind, overlaps, taking one stem at a time and completing the exercise, right? So we have arranged doodles in that fashion, right? So try arranging different tangles. Just try with poke leaf, try with poke root. In fact, poke root I think she has used, Maria has used in the newsletter also, right? So try using different tangles like poke leaf, poke root. Try arranging the stems in this fashion and then inserting that tangle. Yeah, so I'm just going to insert a last one here like this. Yeah, so that was one part of our tile. So I'm now going to add a border. Now the entire space is yours. So choose tangles that come to you easily. I'm going to go with the tangle B line, right? So I'm first going to draw a grid. Drawing some straight lines first, kind of straightish. Don't bother too much about whether they are too straight or not. That's fine, all good. Yeah, and then I'm going to draw a grid, something like this, zigzag jongle grid, right? The next line will not be running parallel. In fact, it will be in the opposite side, a mirror image, like this. And next line will be running parallel, just like jongle, like this. That's the grid for the tangle B line. You can do the same here also, since we have spaces. So we can draw behind. Like this. Again, mirror image. Again, parallel, just like jongle. Right? So you can go ahead and complete the whole thing like that, or you can insert some other tangle there, right? So we can gradually move from B line to jongle. Right? So the next few I'm going to draw like jongle grid. And again you can start with B line there, last one, right? Like that. Yeah, so now lot of inking there as far as B line is concerned, right? So pick up your boulder nib like an 08, and you can always insert an orb there as far as B line is concerned if you don't want to ink it completely black, right? So add an orb, it will be a nice change, something like this. Don't worry about the line running in between, that's fine. Just make sure you ink it nicely, that there are no white spaces left, that your ink doesn't go out much out of the diamond shape. Yeah, so give that time. The tangle is not complete unless you ink it. It gets that 3D effect once you shade. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that for all the diamond shapes. Yeah, and I think here, yeah, so I'll quickly ink it and get back. So I have done inking of the B line, and then I'm going to move on to my jongle, right? So again, it is up to you. If you don't want to ink, you can always add any other pattern inside. Use any other tangle, add lines, add orbs, whatever you feel like. Yeah. So take that time and ink the grid. So I'm almost finishing my inking here. I like bold inking. I like the drama that it adds to my tile. So the tangles that have the bold inking, I generally stick to the inking. Right, so one last thing that I'm going to do here before we move on to shading is add some nice orbs, black pearls or bronze shears, whatever you want to call it, wherever you want to insert one. These are actually the places where you can do it, so just go ahead and insert some nice orbs. Like these. Yeah, if you want, you can also add an aura, like an additional aura like this. Will look nice, I think. Yeah. So let us now move on to shading. So B-line. So these alternate sections to be shaded. Starting from here, again I leave one. So this is kind of a block, a cube. So shading one, leaving one, shading one, leaving one, shading one. Yeah. So that's the sequence that I'm following here. So I've shaded this one, so other side I'm going to shade this one. Just alternating, almost covering the whole thing with my graphite. Right? So it's almost like coloring. And you get that nice 3D effect. Right? Now we move on to jungle. So just add graphite here. Leave one section, then add graphite here. You can add it to all also, that's okay. Yeah. So this last row again, leave one, shade one, like that. Yeah. So let us now blend. So just softening the graphite, evening it out. Huh. Right. So take your time and soften the graphite. Yeah. And then moving to your jungle. Right. And then we come to our doodles, which is arranged in that fashion. So let us see. I'm going to add some bit of graphite at these places. Let's see how do we want to shade it. Right, and then probably I'm just going to add some graphite on one side of the leaves, something like this. Yeah. Take your time. Don't cover the whole thing. Just make sure there are white portions. Shading is always an adventure. You can shade the same thing so many different ways. Do as you feel like at that point of time. Yeah. So just wanted to show you how you can use different tangles on the same stems. So I gave you two ideas. You can always go with poke roots, right? So there is one more hidden section that is visible here. So it will be a good idea to ink it, right? So it looks complete, and that black will add to the look also, right? So I'm just going back to those small little spaces and inking it. Yeah. Yeah, I think now it looks complete. So as far as jongle is concerned, you can always use your chalk on the other side. Yeah, so just highlight this other side. Like that. So use a different blending stub. And just soften the chalk. Yeah. As far as these places are concerned, you can always leave it like that, or you can always add something else, jelly roll or anything else, and make that orb look bigger. Or if you want that line to go, you can always use your jelly roll also, right? But I'm not going to do that. I have no problem with that line showing, as long as it is showing in all. That's fine. Yeah. So that's another way to use the same tangle. Yeah, let's close our tile here. Simple tile to draw. Do try this version also. Sign and date your tile. And I shall see you again with another new session. Bye bye.